Well, today we're going to take a look at editing utilizing Adobe Premiere. This is a tutorial for basic editing utilizing the software. So the process began. Once you have downloaded the editing software and you happen to have it on your computer, you want to make sure that if it's not located below, and if you're using an Apple or whatever your source may be, if it's an Apple Mac, go into the Spotlight and begin typing in Adobe Premiere and select enter. You'll notice that is popping up below. Just have a little patience and give it a time, and it's going to start opening up. As you can see, it's appearing on the monitor, going through the process. So now this is the second step. So if you notice on the monitor, if this is your very first time open up the software, it will be labeled a new project. If it's a project you've been working on other editing projects, you have the different option to open any existing projects. But we're going to look at as though this is your very first time utilizing Adobe Premiere. So we're going to select new project. And then also you notice you want to give it as a title. We're just going to call it test. And then also you want to make sure that the video format is in place, audio, but the capture format, for the most part, you're going to be using HD camera, so you want to make sure it's HDV and not DV. So HDV is the setting need to be for capture, and then select OK. And now what you have appearing is the interface. This is the Adobe Premiere interface. This has opened up, and it's similar to other software interface. So basically you have the top left here is your preview monitor. To the right is your master monitor in terms of your output. Below is the timeline. And this is the area where you will be selecting your files. They'll come into this area. Also you'll notice that the project that we call test is here. The media browser, libraries, info, and effects. So again, this is the interface. You also notice above the top, learning, assembly, editing. When you first start the editing process, you want to be in this particular setting, the editing mode. So for now, the interface is in place. We notice across the top, Premiere Pro, File, Edit, Clip, Sequence, Markers, Graphics, Window, and Help. So now, interface is in place. Now you're ready to import your video files. This is files that you recorded on your DSLR camera, your video camera, or if it was on your smartphone. But we're going to go with if you were using a DSLR or a video camera that uses an SD card. So one way of bringing your source, your files into the system is to go up to File. You scroll down to Import, select Import. And now it's asking for the source. Where's your file located? And you'll notice your option will be on the left. So if you hit desktop, if your file was already in a folder, for example, and if it was on B-Ball, you select that particular folder and your clips will be there. But we come directly from our SD card, which is entitled Untitled. You may personalize your SD card if you need be, but we're going to go to Untitled. And then from Untitled, DCIM, this particular folder, double click again. And now you'll notice several clips. And so what we're going to do is to import the .mov files, the .mov clips. So what we're going to do is you can bring one at a time if need be. You can select .mov and select import. But to expedite time, we're going to select the command key. Hold the command key, .mov, just doing variation of clips. Just to give us something to work with in terms of editing wise. And so I just did random selected some clips. After random selecting them, I'm just going to select now import. Now you'll notice that the clips that were selected have been imported into the lower left into my project bin. Now, one of the things you can do to kind of expedite time, because editing is all about how efficient you are, you can come down to this icon here called the sort icons. Select that sort, scroll up and select name, and then the clip will be in the sequential order that they were recorded. If that's an option that you want to use, you can do that. One thing I noticed that a few clips that I thought I had selected are not here, so we're going to go back and bring some additional clips in. So now we'll click out of here, go up to File, select Import, and now we know for a fact this is the last file source that was open, and so it default back to that particular file. And now I want to bring in this particular clip. I'm just going to select that clip, and from here, import. Now you'll notice that particular clip is in there as well. And as before, we already had made the provision and selected the sort icon. So any other clips we bring in will fall in that sequential order. So now this is my preview. This is the project bin where all the clips are that I selected. And so now you notice the number. There's 9 items that I brought into the system. Also, it's important to know anytime you're in particular area, when you click, there's a blue bar here, blue layer. If I click here, it's blue. Click to my monitor, output monitor in terms of the master file, it's there, the timeline. So it's very important when you're editing that whatever you're trying to manipulate or make any type of adjustment, you want to make sure that you're in the right area, because if not, it can affect your project not knowing, and you can create an error. So basically, we're going to start here, and basic video editing, we're just going to do a call a VO, just VO, and then we're going to do interview, which is right here, a person we did an interview with. But a couple ways of doing it. So I want you to do it this way, because editing is basically trimming down what you want. So we're going to start with this particular shot here. We're going to double click, and if you notice now, we're in the preview monitor after double clicking. And the length of this clip is roughly 14 seconds. Total 14 seconds. Well, actually 9 seconds. 9 seconds is the total time right here, 9 seconds. So what you want to do, you can select the play toggle, and you notice it's rolling. The space bar, if I want to begin there, what I want to do is select my input, which is I on the keyboard. And if you notice that light gray is a darker gray now. And normally when you're editing, you want to hold your shot 3 to 5 seconds. So I select the play button again. And we're going to say, okay, it's 4 seconds and 25 frames, which is fine. And when you first start editing, you notice you click within the bin here, drag the hand, gonna arrow become a hand, releases, and now you notice this is my master file that's going out. This is the edit portion. So out of this 9 seconds of video, I went with 4 seconds and 25 frames, which is here, and it's on the timeline. Also, it's important to note that on the timeline, you have your video source and your audio source. Video 1, video 2, video 3. Basic editing is basically using one layer, which is video 1, one layer of audio, which is your natural sound audio. When we come in to bring our interview in, the subject we interview, that'll be on channel 2. So now this is the running time. Right now at 00, we want to make sure everything is at the very beginning. Hit the space bar. For a second, now we're ready for our second shot. So that's one way of bringing it in. We trim it down. We'll go a different angle from here. Go to the beginning. Select play, depending when you want the movement to begin. Okay, begin right there. So I'm toggling back. Select I for input. Select play, the space bar. Once it's done panning, we hit place a pause, selecting the space bar. And now all we need to do from here is to select overwrite or insert. When you're doing basic editing and you're moving from left to right, it really doesn't matter because we're just doing one layer of editing. So I'm going to do insert because as long as I'm inserting, it will continue going in that direction. So that particular shot here, we'll take a look at again. That's my second shot. You'll notice the running time. Uh, 15 seconds. So we're going to go to another shot from a totally different perspective. We're going to go with this particular shot here. Same process. You determine your in point and your out point. We're going to begin with I for in point. And then O for out point. That's 4 seconds. And again, we're going to go with insert. And if you notice, as long as I hit insert, it's continuing with the same one, just going in that direction. But I realize I only need just one insert. So what you can do, anytime you're making a mistake or an error, and you know it's done, you can come up to the edit and do undo, undo, and undo again. And now that's my third clip, and my running time is 19 seconds. So we're gonna give it at least 25 seconds for the most part. So we're gonna click the second shot. Select I for import. And O for out point. And we're going to do, this time we're just going to do an overwrite, just let you know exactly the same process works. As long as you're going and just doing one single layer and you know exactly the order that everything needs to go in, this is termed basically editing. And so now my total time of this VO, which is a voiceover, is 25 seconds. So we're going to go to the beginning, select play.